Let's warm up together and talk a little bit about, I'll share a little bit the way I warm up in the morning. And what I want to do is just to make sure that I control everything from the lower body. So the way I do it, for example, here I'm balanced on the left leg, and I want to control the release by a smooth unload of that left leg over here to change direction. Very gentle. So, like I finished the arc, I got the balance on my left leg, the load is on my left leg. A lot of people I see, they have a tendency to release that load too quick, which result in an up motion and a tipping at the start of the next turn. So what you want that release to be a little bit smoother, and you don't need to release all the load before you get to neutral. You can use a little bit more length. You can release the load on that left leg for the whole turn. You don't need to release this before you start turning. So stretch that release. And what we're going to do here, we're going to stretch it, and we're going to combine it with a release of the left leg, and I start to point the opposite leg at the same time. I do two movements at the same time. So it's a gentle release of the load of my previous outside ski, and then I'm just gently combining this with a direction of the opposite one. So let's put some direction into the drill here. Like the lower body leads the turning effort. So in other words, if I start over here and I have my weight 50-50, both of my legs are supporting my body, what I want is I want to control the speed at which the skis are tilting on the side with an unweighting of the inside foot or a shortening of the inside leg. It's critical, like we're going to start increasing the speed over here, it's critical that you do not create tension in the articulation when you roll the ski on the side. It happens as a result of a shortening of the inside leg, and as I do this, if I do it progressively, the load is going to build up progressive on the outside ski, and I'll be able to direct that load effectively. If the load shows up too quick, it's hard to be directional in the load. So basically the shortening of that inside leg controls my lateral motion. Very often we have skiers who are kind of pulling the lower body with the upper body, but by putting your energy on controlling your lateral motion with the way you manage the pressure on each foot, makes it impossible to tip in. Okay? So let's put it in a turn with a little bit more speed here, but always feel like my body is supported by two legs at the same length at the start of the turn, and gently get the inside leg shorter to create a little bit of edge, but you do not force that action. If you force that, you become in articular blockage, and then you cannot direct the pressure. Okay, so very smooth approach, loose approach. We take the chair back up. Important, like for example, if my body is supported by two legs over here, when I'm gonna soften a little bit the inside one, for sure the load, my body's gonna get supported more and more by one leg. It's important, we're not talking about the pedaling effect or a pressing effect on the outside ski. You want to have the load presenting itself gently on the outside, but it has to be a directional load. You don't want to stand on it and walk on it. So as the load comes on my left foot, I direct that load instead of press on it. So we'll see a little bit how we direct it later. But for now, both of my legs at the same length, and I'm gonna get the left leg shorter so the skis are gonna tilt on the side. But I got two choices here. Either I am in suspension and trying to like allow the ski to roll on the side and come back, or I'm in compression. I short the left leg and then block. If you compress, you limit your options, and especially in this snow, you're gonna sink.
Yeah.
So just make sure that, just make sure like you wanna get the inside leg shorter, but you wanna activate the steering on the opposite leg. Okay, you don't wanna block and compress on it. That's very important. So just for this, this part of it here, it's a little bit more easier terrain. I would like to talk about how to activate that steering. So there's a couple of key points in order to make the steering efficient. One of those points, it's the activation of the glutes. The glutes, the back of the leg here, is responsible for the alignment of the leg. So what I want to have that glute activated, I need to keep a certain tension on the outside leg. I don't want to be too much shortening that outside leg, or else I block. So if you keep the length of your outside leg, you're gonna have better steering power. The glute being activated, it's easier to drive the ski. If I do get the leg shorter, you're done. You compress, articular blockage, it's over. So as I get the inside leg a bit shorter, keep the length on that outside one, so it's easier for you to drive the ski. Got it? Play with it. Like our job as a ski pro is to develop that movement with our clients and with our skiing. So like the terrain we have here, a little bit flatter, is gonna help us with that. We're gonna use a bit of a power plow. And notice in the power plow, I'm not shortening that outside leg that much. If I get it too short like this, I end up blocking the action. I end up in compression. I keep the length on that outside leg. I allow the inside leg to get a little bit shorter, so I have some power to direct that outside leg. So have a look here. Breath. Let it go. We're going to do the same, but we'll do it like a little bit quicker here, a little bit slower. The idea, so it's important to understand that the balance you create it as a result of a lower body steering underneath an upper body. So for example, if you go with your car at 100 kilometers an hour on the highway, like you turn the steering wheel, the wheels of the car are gonna change direction, and what's gonna happen with the frame of the car when I do that? It's gonna torque, it's gonna tilt towards the outside wheel. And imagine Gianni driving his 1942 Cadillac with his cigar and jewels, with the elbow on the side of the window and his tattoos. Life is good, it's sunny. Okay, he's gonna turn the steering wheel. The frame of the car is gonna tilt over the outside wheels, but like even the inside wheels are they're gonna get lighter. So the feeling of lightening the inside and gaining some load on the outside is a result of the steering. It's not a result of me pressing on the ground. That's what we need to bring the clients to in our skiing too. That's the goal, the ultimate goal. So for sure, the first tool you have to activate the steering, it's an activation of the glutes. And it's not rocket science. To activate it, you just need to keep the length of the leg as you steer, or else you give up your power and you end up in articular blockage. Good? So just give it a go over here, like pick up some speed. It's very flat. Pick up some speed and just try to gain some load on the outside ski as a result of your change of direction. If Gianni is on a curve with his Cadillac and he wants...
That's what he said, come on.
Italian, Johnny.
If he wants to gain, let's say he's turning at 30 degrees, he has a certain load on the outside wheels. If you want to increase that load, what do you do with your direction? Like more direction, more load on the outside ski. So the load is a result of the direction. So we do all this to gain some load on that outside ski. But watch out, it's not just a pedaling and pressing effect. I do this as a result of the steering. Okay? So that's the feeling you want to have. So in skiing, the wheels, it's my skis. The frame of the car, it's my body. If I direct my lower body against my upper body, I will have a tilt of my body, the frame of the car, towards the outside wheel, the outside ski. So just give it a try here on the flat. Pick up some speed with the poles, change direction, and you'll feel a lightening of the inside ski and a gain of load. Have a look. That's good. Watch out not to compress too much over it. Keep the strength on the outside leg a bit more. Very nice.
Don't want to do that.
That's very good. That's good. Good job. Good job. Very nice. Good job, Tudor. Huh? You need some speed.
No, nice work.
Good job. Let this happen as a result. Like, you don't want to pinch this. It's gonna happen. Like, it's gonna happen naturally if the steering is activated. But if I pinch this, I kind of create a blockage. The angulation, it's a result of the steering. It's not a blockage. Okay? This over here, start for about 15 turns in power plow and then bring it into a parallel turn. But my main goal for this run is to make sure that there is a gradual shortening of the inside leg, but it's not, there's no stepping on the outside ski and blockage. It's a constant, like it's a steering of the outside ski. It's not a block on the edge and lock. Okay? The balance will improve as the direction changes. Like the more you turn the steering wheel, the more the frame will tilt. That's a result. You don't need to do that and compress over it. So just make sure that like both legs are doing totally different things. The inside one is getting shorter, and the outside one is getting longer as you steer. Okay, so that effect over here.
Okay.
forces on it. Go on the side of the slope here. Serious?
I probably when I increase speed, I crank, I tense, I get
Yeah,
everything.
exactly. So we'll talk about that. Like that's the next topic.
The faster I try to go, the worse I get.
Okay. We're gonna work on that.
Like you just talked about earlier, I get.
Good, Michel. Limit the amount of vertical. Work more in direction versus working in compression. So watch out not to go too deep into the suspension, or else you're gonna lock the direction. So that's the goal of expert skiing. Like Tudor, he says, when I go fast, things fall apart, I block. It's because he's using in percentage not enough direction versus too much compression. You know, when the speed increase, it's steep, you're on something difficult, the brain wants safety, wants solidity. And as soon as you look for solidity through compression, it's over. Okay, solidity comes from direction, and direction comes from a long leg, activated glutes, your balance on the ski so you can drive the ski. Okay, so the idea over here, like once the concept is getting a little bit easier in your skiing, you're gonna apply the principle of a swing to it. So if you teach it to people who are not used to it, you're gonna gradually get the inside leg shorter and balance progressively on the outside ski. But here, I'm gonna ask you to do it with the slow to fast effect. You're gonna get the inside leg shorter at the start, but it's gonna get shorter and shorter, faster and faster to create a swinging effect. Like the definition of a swing, when you swing a racket or a golf club, it's from slow to fast. So you accelerate the racket. So what you'll do, you're gonna start with both legs at the same length. You're gonna get the inside leg shorter gently to feel the balance, and then you're gonna activate a little bit more the steering and shortening of the inside leg, but you pick up the speed at which you do it. So the curve is gonna get a little bit rounder. Okay?
When you do that, you say it goes faster, but that's a result of the steering accelerating.
Yes,
through the
not
body.
the compressing.
Right.
So have a look.
Was I angulating too much too fast?
That's pretty good. So like, one of the most important things here is if you go slow to fast too much and it makes you compress, you shoot yourself in the foot. Like what you want is to distribute the slow to fast effect, but you don't want it to compress the outside leg so much that you end up locked. So like spread it to make sure that you stay strong and long outside leg so you can keep direct the ski with those glutes. Got it? So if you do it too late in the turn, it's gonna do, I compress, I block. You should have done it a little bit earlier and spread it a little bit more. Okay? I'm gonna go here. Whatever you do, your job is to have directional pressure. If you have pressure that makes you compress on the outside ski, you limit your options. The ski is gonna skid, and what you want, yes, you want an increase of load, but you want an increase of direction. And a lot of people sometimes, they're gonna add some angle late that will bring them too much pressure, and they think it's good because they have angle. I would rather see you with a little bit less angle, but a little bit more direction. Okay, so there's a big difference. So make sure that you're staying directional. How do you do that? A little bit more long outside leg and glutes activation so you can point the ski where you want to go. I'll show you something here, just gonna, just stay there. Come here, I'm gonna fall on each of you, okay? And like let's say I'm carving, for example. So right there, like I'm gonna fall on you and you push me back. Okay. So both of my legs have the same length. I'm gonna get the right leg shorter. Push. Left leg shorter. Push me. Right leg shorter. Left leg shorter. But some of you, it would be we have a tendency to do this. Now I'm gonna block. Okay, so get the right leg shorter and then you stay there because you have fun, because you feel the load increasing and like, oh yeah, I love this. But you're compressing on the pressure. So as soon as you reach your max angle, remember that?
Of course.
As soon as you reach your max, you rebound on it and get out of there. So by doing this, you'll be directional. The reason why you lose it at high speed is because you stay on your max too long, so you compress.
Hey, I can see you thrust Charles, eh?
Okay? So you'll be able to stay directional if you don't spend too much time on your maximum load. Because it's a dangerous zone, it's easy to compress and lose your structure. Okay? So to be directional, don't spend so long on your maximum load and you'll be able to direct it better. That's the idea. Like someone told me once, like skiing, it's like a marble in a bowl. And to have that, like my outside foot would be the marble, I want the marble to roll on the side of that bowl. But what happens if the marble is rolling? What happens if I put my finger on it and press? I block the circular effect. So your skis, they know what to do. Just allow them to travel on that arc and work in direction. As soon as you want to do this, you work in compression, you stop the turning effect. Okay? Let's give it a go. I want to feel solid. And our brain is tricking us. Feeling solid doesn't mean pressing on it. Like the good guys in hard snow, steep stuff, are the one who are in suspension versus in compression. So they're gonna they're gonna roll on the edge without too much tension in the muscles. They're gonna get the inside leg shorter. They're gonna come back, but they're in suspension. If you spend too long, you compress, articular blockage, dangerous for your body, for your back. So, like you want to direct, come back, but you do this in suspension versus coming down and blocking. That's the idea. Yes?
Did you say that compression happens when you stop moving?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a perfect point. You stop the motion, you stop this motion, like your legs, they're kind of pistons. You stop the piston, it's over. But if you're always in motion, you're always directional, everything's gonna be alright. Okay? So here's one more tool. I don't want to put too much though, like one more. Then I get one more tool to improve your direction. Once you have the outside leg long and glutes activated, one more thing that can help you to create direction is to use a little bit the inner thigh over here, the adduction muscles. That reminds you a good memory, Michel. So to, like, for example, just lift one leg over here and press on the side of your leg. By pressing over here, it's going to give you some direction. So for example, lift this ski here and press my pole. Okay, so it should burn on the side of the leg. So here, if I put my hand over here, press my hand, there's some direction, there's some power there. But versus, look at this. Lift the ski again and press down on the ground. There's no direction, there's compression. I don't want to go there. But you know that when you're going to change direction, there will be a lot of increase of pressure. Your job is to manage this and create direction with that pressure. If you create compression, game over. Okay? So you want direction here, like your steering brings you direction, and all I'm asking you is in your mix of pivoting and edging, add a little bit of tension with your inner thigh. It's going to give you a little bit more direction. So have a look at this here.